Yeehaw.
Doggy.
Saddle up, little ponies.
Saddle on up now, little doggies.
Monday morning.
Monday morning, it's the come up. Trinity Infinity back at it again.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
I thought it was going to be the Zelda one again, but I'm glad it's not.
You told me this thing was great, but I didn't realize.
Monday just got upgraded.
Wow. Mondays just got upgraded.
Yeah, this is Plinky the Pink Keyboard, and I'm so excited to have him on this show finally. I don't know, I was resisting his presence. He's obviously what we needed. And I got Leslie out of here, who is a little bit more of a serious tone.
And it's a she. I mean, this is a he, even though it's pink, and the white one's a she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this one is gender non-binary.
Yeah.
This is a modern keyboard.
Yeah, this is a modern keyboard. I
It'll,
love his name, Plinky.
I mean, here, let me do. I mean, this is just the regular piano sounds I have.
Yeah, that's it. That's as Plinky as it comes.
I've been trying to write music in my apartment with this. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
It's really taking the music in a weird direction. You know that
Yeah.
I like. It's good for maybe some stuff, but
It's good for Ween.
it's good. I was just thinking like it'd be great for Ween.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's doing me justice, but yeah, I'm really excited about Plinky.
Wow.
There's over 600 things that I'm gonna conjure up and debut with Plinky.
600
he's got
things.
350, yeah, magical timbers and some rhythms.
Oh, man. Yeah, our shit just got upgraded. It's Monday. Imagine being this excited on a Monday.
Well, when you have Plinky the Pink Keyboard in your life, it's hard not to be,
no,
you know
it's
what I
it's
mean?
fun because we're creating this new realm where it's like we get excited every day, but in my life it's never been like this.
Yeah.
Anytime Monday has been a Monday for me, where
Yeah.
meaning I have to actually go to school or go to
Yeah.
work or something.
Yeah.
It's the fucking worst. Not only is it the worst, Sunday's the worst.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. I haven't been on a
Oh my-
Monday hard schedule for like ever.
Yeah,
Because
me
the first
neither.
job I got was like I was dancing, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't ever on a 9 to 5 schedule. So Mondays have always been my weekend, really, because I usually work during the weekend and then I have Monday to
Yeah.
get out there and stuff. So I've been able to shed some of my Monday morning blues or whatever. But yeah, the night before, night before tattoo, night before anything you have to do.
Oh god,
You
it's
know.
the worst.
Why is it that you can't sleep when you need to do something? Why is it that it's like 10 times harder to sleep when you need to show up the next day?
And it's always when you need to sleep the most because you
Yeah.
need to process things. Like you're trying to
Fuck.
stay up because your brain needs to process things, but the only way that you can process things is really sleep.
Yeah, god damn. Some of the most stressful times of my life are just laying there in bed, knowing, like, and you do the classic thing. You're like, I'm about to get only 4 hours of sleep. I'm about to get only 3 hours of sleep. I'm about to not sleep and try to conquer this important thing I have to do.
Totally.
It's fucking insane.
Totally. It really is like the cure all too, like when you're mad and spun out. Like if you go to sleep, like that's the way that it's going to get worked out.
You think so?
1 trillion million %. That's my best advice for life.
Really?
When you're spun out and shit, go to sleep.
Wow.
If you can get down like that, get down like that.
Wow.
I think it's probably because time heals, you know? Is it like the passage of time? You're like a little
Definitely.
distant, more distant from this thing that's...
I think the only real measurement of time is sleep. Like, I think that's the most interesting conversation around time is the fact that sleep is actually our most solidified fulcrum of, like, the passing of time. But, yeah, I think that, like, on top of processing all of this subconscious stuff that's behind the veil that's stressing you out when you're awake that you can finally, like, see and address when you're asleep, I think there are lots of like pantomimes and dramas that you're playing out in your sleep to conquer your fears and to process things that again like you don't have enough space for during the day.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah, so I think it's the cure all. And obviously it's one of the most impossible things to even comprehend doing when you're mad.
I
You know, it's
know.
impossible to get me down when I'm mad, you know,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
but if you do have that switch, you don't have to like use drugs to get yourself down. That's like, yeah, that's
Oh,
the
that's
thing.
my natural. I'm like, I'll see you on the other side. I'm just gonna go hide in the bedroom and
Oh
like,
yeah, Cass is a great
Yeah,
sleeper. You
expert
know.
sleeper,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I'm fucking jealous of that
Yeah.
quality in particular. in
he'll
her.
wake up and be like, "We went to bed last night and I didn't sleep at all. And what'd you expect?" And I'm like, I don't know. I thought you'd sleep.
Lay there thinking
Yeah,
about
that
shit.
whole like don't go to bed mad. I'm like, whatever, go to bed mad. Like you're not gonna
Mm.
work it out until you sleep. So
Yeah. Totally.
Do you do dream work? Do you like go to sleep trying to work something out in the dream and then wake up and be like, all right?
I went through a period of trying to do really intentional dream work when I was having a ton of lucid dreams, like controlling dreams. Like I would go to sleep and I want to go back to the same place, specifically in a dream, or you know, I'd want to go back and fly and levitate. I have this one dream. Have you guys ever heard about Dreamtime dreams and like Aboriginal cultures and their
No.
concept of it? Okay, so separate from Western society, which really happened around when literature split into between like fiction and nonfiction, we have this whole distinction between like sleep reality and non-sleep reality and fantasy and yada yada yada. But in a lot of like tribal, specifically Australian, but yeah, Aboriginal cultures, dreaming is reality and there's no separation between the two of them. And the shaman of the group is somebody who has what's called dreamtime dreams, which are supposed to be experienced as, I guess, a more visceral or intense experience of a dream that they perceive as actually like dimension hopping. Like some dreams are just dreams where you are just like working out different fears and stuff, but some dreams are like you're actually embodying a different incarnation or whatever. And those people that had them would be designated shamans and stuff. And I feel like I've had some Dreamtime dreams in my life, not too many of them, but they're so different than my other dreams. It's really made me question.
Yeah.
And I had this one right before I learned about all this, which also like bolstered my belief
Of
in
course.
its fantastical magicalness. But yeah, so I was staying at my parents' house for one night in Texas when I went down and took a road trip. I was supposed to stay there for a couple nights, but we ended up having like the craziest fight of our like always just fighting, whatever. I ended up sleeping there. I thought about just like walking out and going to a friend's house, but I was like, fuck it, I'll deal with it. I'll sleep here. And I'm in the bedroom I was in growing up, and I'm in this bed, and I'm going in and out of this dream where I'm like, I'm waking up in this bed in Houston, and I'm waking up in this bed in a dream. And in a dream, I'm in a house, and I can tell I'm in somebody's guest bedroom. I just have that feeling. Like I know it's not my house. The room is clearly not very decorated. And so it's like brown. There's like ugly brown wallpaper, maybe from like the 70s or 80s or something. And I wake up in this dream. I'm in this bed and something pulls me out of bed by my foot, but there's nothing in the room. Like I just feel like I'm slightly getting dragged off of the bed. And as I'm getting dragged off of the bed, I start to levitate a little bit too. So I'm like raising off of the bed. I'm like, what the fuck? And then every time I'm like, what the fuck? It like drops me and I'm back in the bed. And then I keep having this thing where I'm like waking up there, waking up in Houston. And then finally it's pulling me and I'm lifting up and I like kick. And as soon as I sort of have an aggressive feelings and fight back, I get tossed against the wall. And this thing, anytime that I think thoughts of overpowering it, or also that it's not there anymore. Anytime I have this thought of like, oh, it's finally gone, it reminds me it's there and it overpowers me. And then anytime I question like, oh, I'll be able to overpower it, it overpowers me. So it was this presence that wanted to be known. It needed me to know that it was more powerful than me and it wasn't going away.
Wow.
And so I'm thinking all these things, and we're obviously psychically connected, and it's hearing what I'm thinking, because I'm not saying this out loud in the dream. I'm just thinking things, and it's responding to what I'm thinking. And so I think more things and more questions so it can respond to me, and I'm standing on the ceiling, I'm levitating. And the other reason why I want to go back in the dream is I'm levitating.
Yeah. That's
You know?
fun. That's good,
Like,
clean
bring
fun.
me back there, yeah. And I'm like, I can get abused if I have superpowers. I'll take that. I'll take the good with the bad in this dream. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking to myself, what, like, is this air? Is this like a ball of air? Like, what the fuck is this thing throwing me around this room? Is it a form? And I'm standing on top of the ceiling, and I feel two hands wrap around my ankles, and they're really big, and the fingers are longer than human hands, and they're like incredibly strong. And I can't distinguish between them being hot or warm. It feels like they're kind of cold. I mean, cold or warm. It feels like they're kind of cold, but it feels like there's blood under them, you know, almost like, you know, lizard-like or something. But I remember reaching down. I can't see the hands, but I could feel them distinctly, every single finger on my ankles. And they're so strong and they're so form, and feeling them and feeling the outer skin of the hands and it being rough and being like, oh, so it does have form. I'm just not seeing it. But it was constantly responding to the things that I was asking, you know.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And so visceral, so real, so lucid. Like I was controlling everything that was happening, at least on from my part in that dream. I couldn't control the entity, but I think 4 or 5 separate times in that night, I woke up in the same dream, and I really wanted to, and I kept wanting to, and then I stopped being able to, and then I think maybe the night after I was able to go there again, but I haven't been able to go back since, and that's been one of the dreams that I consciously all the time I'm like, bring me back there.
Damn.
Like I want to live that life again. I feel like I was like some sort of like entity hunter in that reality, and I could like levitate and like I don't know.
Damn.
Sounds like a movie.
Somebody was like recruiting me in to like get rid of something in their house, or I don't know what it was. It's a fun
Damn.
dream. I'd like to go back. But sometimes parts of me thinks that's like a Dreamtime dream. Was I talking about Dreamtime dreams? We were just talking about dreams.
It's crazy because someone just wrote to me saying y'all were in my dream last night, and I was, and I, the only thing I could think to write back was like, we need to talk about that more. On the show, like
Yeah.
we need to talk about what dreams are,
Yeah.
and what all this stuff. And I'm sure we'll get more into it or whatever. But it's just funny because I think you stole that out of my head because I was like, next show we need to address that. Yeah, we pop up in your dreams, and I'm sorry if we're weird or anything. But she said we were cool. She was like, the reason I knew it was y'all is because you were so fucking chill. And I was like, yeah,
That's awesome.
man.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
good.
we all have the like moon in the 12th house, like behind the veil psychic placement. So I definitely feel like we're in lots of people's dreams. Lots of
Let us know.
ethereal play. Yeah.
I like to do the work down there or
Yeah,
up there.
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want more dreams when I'm levitating. I want more lucid dreams. There's nothing quite like it because
Yeah.
it's like
Dreams
it's
are
like
epic.
reality unimpeded. It's the immediate manifestation. There's no time in between the things that you want and them appearing.
Yeah. I want more dreams where I spend time with people that aren't here anymore.
Yeah,
Or maybe I never
absolutely.
knew to begin with, if I get to see my sister in there or my grandparents or Jerry,
Yeah.
it's cool, or George Harrison or something. These are all people I've come across, and but man, it's such a pleasure to get to spend time with them, even in that world.
Even Zac Efron.
Zac Efron's been in my dreams, ever since I first knew about him. The reason we have to bring up Zac Efron on this beautiful Monday is because today's his birthday. Today's his 33rd birthday. He's entering his Jesus year.
Happy birthday, Zac.
Zac Efron, our favorite, If
Their-
I'm ever
their
gonna
favorite.
Yeah, they-
We'll watch any movie that Zac's in.
look, if I'm ever gonna lose cast to anyone, it's gonna be Zac Efron. If I'm ever gonna lose merit to anyone, it's gonna be Jason Momoa.
Who
Yeah.
I've never expressed interest in, but
I just know
speak
he's a
communally.
Hawaiian. He's a Hawaiian dreamboat. What man wouldn't want to look like that with like long hair and like just beautiful pecs and like huge? I assume he's like 6'7" or some shit, like 380 pounds. It's all pure muscle.
it's a lot of man meat.
Yeah.
Speaking of man meat, you got contacts.
Yeah, I'm
Just so you
wearing
could
them
be
right
even
now.
more of a heartbreaker.
Yeah, I want to be a
Yeah.
fucking heartthrob
I
in this
know.
life.
I
Joey suggested it, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I think many people haven't really said anything about my looks in my life, and he was like, a way to take it up a notch is to get contacts, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. So today's my first day with him.
I think it's a game changer, especially going into winter where you end up having like things can get a little foggy.
Especially if we're wearing masks. Like, that was the worst part of this
Oh.
fucking pandemic, is wearing masks all the time. I'm just living my life literally in a fog.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I take my glasses off, I can't see. I put them on, I
hilarious.
can't see.
Yeah.
And, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah, Zac Efron, support this guy. He's great. He's a little unrecognizable these days. He did something, I don't know. But speaking of changing up your look, I don't know who convinced this guy he needed to do something, but he did something to his jaw. Or it looks like he has a fake jaw in there or something.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
he can be a good lead into comparison, like the corrosiveness of comparison. Because fuck yeah, like no matter how hot you are, you get in the public eye and you just like you can't help yourself.
Who's he comparing himself to?
Obviously, somebody like you with an amazing chin, and he's like, God, fuck my chin. Like I need a better chin.
Damn,
No, it's like to
Sean's
get
out here like this with his
Yeah.
dimple and shit.
just
Like
fucking
he's gotta.
looking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't want to throw shade at him, but I do feel like he did change his look in a way that doesn't really match his voice anymore, because he maybe was like, oh, in order to get the leading man role, I need a different bone structure look, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But he's always a heartthrob to me. And going into his 33rd year, that's like a year of, they call it the Jesus year.
Yeah.
So
He's so young. He's so young. I mean, you're 33 too. Also, peak Zac Efron, now that I think about it, like his peak, his hottest, you know, his funniest, everything was firing on all cylinders. That movie Neighbors with Seth Rogen.
Exactly.
He looks fucking great in that thing. He rips his shirt off. Everybody loves it. Yeah.
Can I read the Master's Teachers number 33 for Zac Efron?
And yourself, you're in your fucking Jesus
Yeah,
year.
and
Let's
it's-
not forgive that.
And
you
also, I
know?
think it's a
I was
good thing.
just about to be like, you know who I like a lot more than Zac Efron, who I'd love to talk about so much more than Zac Efron.
Yeah. Gas.
Okay, well, I think this is a good to read for a Monday because, you know, it's like supposedly your master year. It's the year Jesus was crucified, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Jesus.
Okay, let me read this. Okay. Whatever you desire in life can be created, but only if you're willing to do the necessary work. That means no shortcuts, no bypasses, and no free lunches. The only path to success is discipline and consistency. Fortunately, your master teachers are present, helping you develop a heartfelt and mature work ethic by organizing and becoming practical in your approach to achieving your goals. Examine your heart and be willing to do what it tells you, whatever it takes to reach your aims. If you don't know what you must do, then learn. Seek out the help of mentors and guides who specialize in your field of interest. Study and learn with an open heart and mind, and set your standards high. Your master teacher reminds you, mastery in any area only comes from demanding nothing less than the best from yourself.
How's Saturnian?
Oh, that's good.
I did.
Aho, amen, I, whoop,
Whoop,
whoop.
Ay,
Ay, ay. That's how we close our prayers. You know, we're borrowing one from, you know,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, I think it's also good we got an Aries moon today. Shout out to the moon on Monday.
Shout out to the moon. R.I.P. Jesus. Happy birthday, Zac Efron. This has been Monday with the Trinity Infinity. This is the come up. Support us on Patreon, goddammit. We put a lot of free content out into the world. Get on our Patreon. There's a lot more content on there. Radio shows, podcasts, a bunch of other shit. Pay what you want. Patreon.com/Church of Chill. Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and magic.
Yeah.